Today, we are going to present our research on the topic of move and errors analysis of research paper introduction section written by EFL students, a case study of Chiang Rai Rajabhat University. My name is Natthaphon from Language Institute and Global Affairs, Chiang Rai Rajabhat University, Thailand.
My name is Tran, and I am from Language Institute and Global Affairs, Chiang Rai Rajabhat University, Thailand.
And I am Kakana. I'm a graduate student in Chiang Rai Rajabhat University.
Okay, next slide, please. All right, so according to the table of contents, we have outlined our presentation into 5 parts. The first part will be research background and motivation. The second part covers the area of literature review. The third part accounts for methodology. The fourth part deals with research results. And the final part will deliver conclusion and discussions. And we are going to talk about research background and motivation. So low writing proficiency among second language writers needs language tactics to fix this problem, and error analysis could be the key to this success. Secondly, the writing proficiency is necessary for students in the research methodology course. This course is the core module for the English major students to accommodate and develop their skills to pass this course. However, there might have been a good number of studies which deal with error analysis and the analysis of research paper throughout the course of many years and up to the current time. However, to continue this tradition of the analysis is still necessary for the understanding of our own students for our own particular context. So this study have decided to continue the traditional strategies to examine the students' writing errors by using the rhetorical writing move proposed by Swell 1990 to discover students' idea organization, which is considered an essence of this research article. Next, please. Microphone.
Next, I could talk about literature review. So for this paper, we conducted a preliminary literature review. For the first part is the EFL research writing. So according to Dudley and St. John's in 1998, academic writing for undergraduate students prepares students with skills needed in English language studies. Writing academic research paper is considered as an advanced requirement for ESL or EFL students due to the expectation of its manners in norms, standards, conventions, and rhetorical moves. For that, problems and difficulties in writing the introduction section of research papers in various areas such as social sciences, scientific and technical fields have attracted the attention of researchers. So as Hudson in 1994 mentioned, the introduction for a research paper represents the connection between the readers and the author's work. Therefore, Swell's move as a needed schema are essential for students to accomplish this part. So for that, we propose a study to connect between the two perspectives on error analysis and move occurrence. By Coder in 1971, he stated that errors are a result of some failure of performance. However, errors are significant for the message to different agents. For example, for the teachers, error can tell the students' progress and constraints. Secondly, for researchers, they find errors helpful because they shed light on language learning and learner strategies. Last but not least, errors are unavoided for learners in their learning progress. So Coder, after that, proposed and developed a framework for error analysis, and we, the researchers of this paper, think that we can take the move occurrence developed by Wells into account simultaneously. For that, at first, we come up with a qualitative on working on previous research for error identification and classification through a structured approach. And we reviewed the various types of errors analysis and the pros and cons of each method. Based on this understanding, data collected from student papers were classified to align with our purpose. In the second stage of this study, 7 group work introduction writings of the 4th-year students were collected after they finished writing their final assignment. Because the students worked on the same topic, readability analysis of TOEIC test, the author purposely selected the introduction part not only to meet with our topic, but also to meet the important criteria. Number 1 is follow the move in writing instruction and avoid the monotonous writing framework. Data were collected and analyzed from December 2021 to July 2022. So following the procedure, here are the assessments of the moves completion. For move 1A, it is to show the centrality. Move 1B is to introduce a reviewing previous research. Move 2A is to indicate a gap, raise a question, and move 3 it is to outline a purpose. The terms used in this part is complete, partially complete, and incomplete. For the identification of writing errors, we follow the same framework proposed by Wells on move 1A is the present simple tense to show the centrality. Move 1B to use present past and present perfect to introduce and review more previous research. Move 2A is the language focus on negative openings to indicate a gap. Raising a question, and the last one, move 3A, present simple tense to outline the purpose, and the terms for this part are correct and incorrect. Incorrect here equivalent to errors. And now I would like to invite Mr. Kakada to come with our results.
Thank you very much, my teammate. So now let us move on to the chapter 4 of our study, which is the results section. So the following are the results of move completion and language focus errors obtained from the researchers' analysis. Now, let us move on to 4.1, that is about move occurrence in students' introduction. So now let us look at figure 1. So figure 1 shows the move occurrence in the introduction of the students' research papers. And according to the figure, the most complete move is move 1A. This is based on Carr's model. As can be seen, 10 of 17 students' paper, that means 58%, of their introductions made a complete move 1A. This is slightly over the average percentage of the move 1A completion to some extent, which still require some improvement. Another important result is that only 6 of the 17 participants in the students' introduction made a complete move 3A. Surprisingly, the most minor complete moves in the introductions were found in move 1B and 2A, where none of the papers included the 2 moves. It is worth noting that these 4 different moves were constructed together to create an effective introduction based on the CARS model. Moves that are basically obligatory were less or not found in most of the introductions. These spaces might continue until clarifications are made. Now, let us move on to 4.2. That is about language errors of the 4 obligatory moves. So now let us look at figure 2 together. So figure 2 shows the language errors in the 4 moves of the student's introduction part taken from their research reports. Based on the figure, the most language errors that refers to the simple present tense, which occurred in 6 of the 17 papers, were found in move 1A. As can be seen, nearly 75% of the participants made errors in tense use in the above move. This high percentage of the use of tense in the move might call for some clarification. However, another better result showed that only 5 of the 17 participants, that means about 29%, made tense errors in move 3A. And unexpectedly, tense use in move B and the negative openings in move A could not be analyzed due to the absence of the data in the 2 moves. It might be noted that these language features join hands in hand with the 4 moves to create an effective introduction. Possibly, these errors might continuously exist unless proper attention is given. This is the end of the results section, and I would like to invite our team, Dr. Natthaphon, to present the discussion and conclusion section. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rakada. So the discussion and conclusion part. So this research, we have 3 research objectives. So the first research objective is to investigate the move occurrence. And the second objective is to identify the errors. And research objective 3 is to explain, to give the plausible explanation about the relationship of the occurrence of the move and the errors has been found in the realization and the composition of each of the move. So it can be seen from the results that the 3 conventional and obligatory moves were commonly used and found in the other studies in different fields, which is similar to the occurrences of the move occurrence in this study as well. And it can be seen that this 3 moves structure model is practical for use in the class for teaching the students how to write an effective introduction for their own classroom research project. However, the findings from this study also show consistency of move occurrences, which is similar to those in the previous studies as well. But it can be seen some of the deficiencies in the deployment of the moves by our students. Next slide, please. So the occurrence of the moves seems to show deficiencies in terms of the occurrences. For example, the tense choices employed by our students writing an introduction tends to follow the norm in using the present simple tense, but the tense use seem problematic in the findings. At this stage, the Move 3A problems at the micro level in regard to grammatical structures, which can be observed in terms of errors in the use of tense choices. The major defects were clearly observed in the development of the negative openings of Move 2A, indicating the gaps or needs. Admittedly, the students have put a lot of efforts in accomplishing the task in writing the introductions. So from here, we can lead to the conclusion that there seems to be two types of errors that has been observed in our study. So the first type is the tense choices, and the second type is the negative openings. So the 10 choices are observed across the deployment of the three move structure from move 1, move 2, and move 3. And the negative openings are the part of the move 2. So the students show a lot of efforts in realizing the move structure for the good introduction part of the research paper. However, they are still at the developing stage for understanding the rhetorical compositions, because according to the graph, you have seen that some of the move are, even though the move recognized and seems to appear across the data of the research papers, but it seems to be the quality of the moves that seems to some certain extent show completion, partially completion, and most of them seem to be really incomplete. So this means really that our students are exactly at the infancy stage in order to so infancy stage and developing stage for them to understand the composition of the rhetorical organization. So they are still naive and novice writer at this moment. And at the same time, for the second level of the text organization in terms of the micro features, especially at the grammatical structures, it can be seen that the tense choices, which is very important for Move 1A and Move 1B for claiming centrality and also reviewing the past literature. So for claiming centrality, most of the time, this move tend to deploy present simple tense, and Move 1B, review of the past literatures, tend to favor the past simple form. Those Move 1A and Move 1B, our students are still not yet fully competent in deploying the use of tense choices. They are still having some problems due to the fact that many errors have been observed from the investigation. Secondly, the nuts and bolts of the research article introduction is Move 2, indicating the gap or indicating the needs. Most of the investigation have analyzed in this research. It has been stated that it has been found that not enough data for the analysis. So it means that the students are not really not really competent in developing the realization of move number 2. And at the same time, they seem to show some strategies and some strong motivation and strong effort in trying to accomplish that task in writing the final move, that is move 3. So there seems to be the good number of the statistics showing that the students are also good at accomplishing move 3, but in inefficient use of the move also observed by the observation of the incompetent use of the verb choices, in which they need to use present simple tense in order to show newness and freshness for move 3A, outlining the research purpose. But many of the errors are also found among 5 of 17 papers were shown by the statistics. So it means this is really crucial for understanding our own context, especially our students, in which they are really at the infancy stage, even though they have good framework for writing a good introduction following the 3 move structure. Next slide, please.
Now it's at the end of our presentation for this topic. Thank you everyone for listening. We hope you have a nice day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay.